The train now approaching platform 1 is the 0900 service to Stirling.
Bong, bong. I like that. Hi, good morning. Welcome to Stirling Talks, a brand new show here on Stirling Community Radio. My name is Wilson. I'm a sound American. I am not. Don't hold it against me, please. More on that later. Stirling Talks is all about the voices in and around the Stirling area. Everything from just getting you laughing a little bit to maybe getting you helping along the way. I am new, fairly new, my family and I and our dog George, to the Stirling area. Been here a little bit over a year, and we absolutely love it. And I thought, well, it's inaugural show, first show, it's a new year. Thanks for tuning in. Where should we start? Well, let's start at the beginning. Where are we? Stirling Community Radio. If you don't know, our studios are just above the Made in Stirling shop. When I started asking around, and I'm a big fan of the Made in Stirling shop, you're going to find out more about that here in our next our first segment here. Our first guest is Joe Hall. Kind of the straw that stirs the drink, if you will, for Creative Stirling, founder and director of Creative Stirling. That is where the whole Made in Stirling shop came from. Joe, for people that don't know, what is the Made in Stirling shop?
Well, I'm pleased to say it's a place that people love and value, I think. Made in Stirling venue, where Made in Stirling store is, it's our shop, a literal shop front. And the idea is that it is a welcome gate for people to come in, and we have a really large ground floor with 2 galleries, and the way that it works is we've got dwell time and people will dwell in the shop, and it was to be our forever home. Before, we were at 44 King Street. Made in Stirling store was a project of Creative Stirling, and it was actually in I think 6 different locations. Like, we had to keep moving. It was all pop-up shops. It was negotiated rents. So we've been in lots of places, and there's been lots of moving and change, but they were all pretty small. And this ex-retail department store was on the market looking for someone to lease it, and that was in 2018. And I had a look at it and thought this could really work as a venue. It was like to be, as I say, our forever home. We moved in, and we had,
Well, I want to find out more about that. But you said something here before we get too far from that. You said a welcoming space, and as I mentioned on the intro here, new to Stirling. Again, sound American, I'm not. But my wife and I, my family, found this was one of the first places we visited, and one of the first places that we really, because there was we love art, and we love local things, and shops small, and we could tell instantly on our first walk-in that this place was different from everybody else. So the welcoming and just kind of all these events you have here, and with Creative Stirling, all of these things that you have going on, it's intentional, and for me, I've found it very welcoming with all the events here.
Absolutely, that was the intention. Creative Stirling was set up as a place-based arts organisation. I worked in other arts organisations in here in Stirling, but also in Dundee, and I kind of realised that people who work in the arts, like, they need to understand place and the context and be part of the community. So I am pleased to report that absolutely everybody who works for Creative Stirling and Made in Stirling, our trading company, we're all local. Everybody lives, I'm 15 minutes walk away. Some people are a short train journey over to Dunblane or whatever, but everybody's local. And that was the point of it. It was like we needed a place where the Indigenous broader creative community could retail, because that's what they were asking for. We actually did a feasibility study for WASPs. I don't know if you've heard of WASPs. It's a big arts-based charity, and to come to Stirling, and the biggest feedback they got is like, those who are making just want somewhere to be able to, really retail their work. And And there wasn't really a kind of space like that. Commercial galleries, it's like everything else. There's a circuit, and there's the fashionable art, and it's UK, and there's 20 or so professional commercial artists who sell in every gallery in every posh small town, whatever. And I know a bit about this because both my parents were makers, jewellery makers, and I know how hard it is to kind of run a business and be someone who works alone, and and trying to work out all of that as well as being a creative maker. So I guess the idea behind it was to create somewhere that was supportive, affordable, and vibrant. And the great thing about it is it's how the artists convene. We don't own anything in the shop. The artists hire their space, and as I say, we make affordable rates, and there is an affordable commission, and it's their responsibility. So everything is built on relationships. We have to have those relationships, and it's great. There are lasting friendships across, the community of artists, and it's kind of it has to be flexible. Artists can come in and volunteer, but call it volunteering, but then, they'll get money off their rates for hiring space, so it's worth their while to do that. And some artists really love coming in, and other artists don't want to do that, and it's kind of everything is about managing all those hundreds of different needs and relationships.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because mentioned as a fan of art, to be able to go into a space and see art on the wall, and to have artists around, and these like you said, these are local people. These aren't from across the country. These aren't from hours and hours away. But to be able to come in here and buy something from an artist, and the other thing that I love about it is you've got, and I call it a bit of sweat equity. You might call it volunteering, but there's some buy-in here from the artist where they want this to work. Having artists talk to me about other artists is also pretty fascinating as well in a creative space. So I love that. We're into the new year here now. How was 2025? Because I was in quite a few times over the year, and it looked like, obviously, the holidays were kind of crazy. If you follow along on some of the social media, we had a little bit of a situation early in December, the shopping season, with some scaffolding and everything. How was the year overall here in the shop?
Well, the year overall has been really good because Creative Stirling, as the organisation overall, we got multi-year funding from Creative Scotland, and that took 13 years of getting into that bracket, which is it's affirmation. It's they couldn't ignore us anymore, kind of a thing. And that has allowed us to introduce our speakeasy events, which I'll talk about more if you like. But also, it's the first time we've had revenue funding that gave us a kind of solid background. From that, we've also got Garfield Weston funding now, which is great because they're a great relationship funder, and that again, once you get one success, they kind of start to build on each other. And it was 4 days in the end of November where we lost 4 days. We looked back on the year's trading for Made in Stirling, and it was nearly £13,000 we made in those 4 days last year.
That's a lot.
I know, and the insurance, who knows? The guy didn't stop. The truck driver he says he didn't hear the almighty crash, but the cops got him at lunchtime, and he said, "Honest officer, who me? Never heard a thing." However, so I spent a week out on the street talking to scaffolders, trying to find out what was going. Plans are shifting, building standards, road traffic, all of that. Everybody was great. Shout out for Neil at a Part Hotel across the road. They gave us a place to work, so we went completely out in the cold. But they damaged the scaffolding, damaged the door, closed the road, and it was a huge hit. And we are, despite the funding and despite everybody's hard work and our success, we're absolutely reliant on sales from the shop and everything that we do in the space, in the venue, to be able able to kind of like, we do hires, and we're getting a lot more hires. We had the Chambers, Forth Valley Chambers, come in, do their Christmas do. They've had a marvellous time. They had a marvellous time at Christmas, and they've like booked again for next year. And we've got a lot more third sector organisations coming to do their AGMs, meetings and things like that. So we've got a nice space that people like to be in. And on top of that, we've got our community programme going, where we do a lot of work with the radio station. We've got our Community and Media Matters course, where we have young people who are amazing and who are learning lots of kind of digital skills, employability experience, and the 3-year funding for National Lottery for that programme has just allowed us to kind of sustain and develop our relationships with young people who've then been involved in other projects, and some of whom I believe have become presenters for Stirling Community Radio, which is amazing. It's all about continuity, sustainability, and it's not a given. You can never just rest on your laurels.
And that was the year that was. I want to talk about what's coming up. A little plug for us, though. You mentioned that there's Stirling Community Radio. We are above the shop, and if you come to an event here, I want to lead into a little bit. I'm a big fan of the speakeasy events as well, but you will see young people in here. That's part of the mission of Stirling Community Radio, where we do have young people. Selfishly, I will just say, as a former young person, no longer young person, I found that I worked in radio when I was young in high school. That helped me throughout my life, because whether you're going to be a radio DJ or not, being able to speak and present yourself, present your story, and tell a story to people, whether it's on social media or broadcast or whatever, or if you're an artist trying to talk about your art, I think it helps young people, and I love seeing the young people in here looking at the art, but also involved with the radio station here. And we love being here in our studio, so thank you for that. This is Stirling Talks on Stirling Community Radio. We'll be right back.
Stirling Community Radio. It's in the name.
Good morning. Thank you for sticking with us. This is Stirling Community Radio. We're back with the director and founder of Creative Stirling. My name is Wilson. This is a new show that we're doing here on Stirling Community Radio. It is called Stirling Talks, where we're going to be talking to all kinds of great people all throughout our area and beyond. First show makes sense to kind of tell you, if you're just tuning in the previous segment, we were talking about where are we. This radio station is just above the main Stirling shop. Joe here with Creative Stirling kind of told us about the past year. Here's what I want to know now. We've got so many great events coming up. We kind of teased people with the speakeasy events. I want to find out more about that. For this year coming up, Creative Stirling, the main Stirling shop, where are we going? What's the plan?
Well, we're always looking to grow and expand. That is part of the strategic role of Creative Stirling. Our next speakeasy will be February the 5th, I think.
We'll confirm that, yes. Right. Time, it looks like the 5th. Don't hold us to that.
First, let's call it the first Friday in February.
Right.
And our brilliant Stirling Macker, Kevin Peagilday, who's the compere for those. And it's wonderful, as I say, the funding that's been able to allow us to bring some real quality acts, and the audience is really developing. Like, is word of mouth. It's like we're getting the regulars, we're getting people bringing people. It's comedy, it's an intelligent, entertaining, kind of night out for 18 plus. And there's so much brilliant Scottish comedic talent that you don't see on BBC Scotland, I'm afraid.
Right.
And that, is not because the venues are closing, and paid work, and despite we have a policy commitment to paying artists for commissions and work, as their Scottish Artists Union rates, and there are big venues out there that are not necessarily doing that in some big, professional commercial festivals and stuff. It's like, so it's, the upside of that is there is some pretty amazing Scottish talent that we've been able to connect through is Kevin's network, national network, and just the amount of brilliant female comedians particularly, and just acts that are little avant-garde, put people a little out their comfort zone. And they like it, though.
Yeah.
They do like it. So I'm really pleased with the Speakeasy. And, yes, if you can find more about that on our website. We've just created a page for that so people can find out a bit more about it. I think people's habits changed after lockdown, the whole just coming out thing. It's the same with cinemas, with big gigs, with everything, with festivals. It's people are choosing very carefully about where they spend their money for going out. And top of the town are members. If you're a member of Creative Stirling, a residential member, and live in Mercant Crossing City Centre, you can sign up to our membership on the website and you can get in for free to the Speakeasies. And if you're a Creative Stirling member, which means not top of the town, but broadly, you can sign up as a member and you'll get a discount on your tickets for Speakeasy.
And I just looked on the calendar here. The first Friday in February is the 6th. So the 5th or the 6th. You should be following Maiden Stirling, Creative Stirling on the social medias anyway. Look for more details there. And as you just mentioned here on the website. And
back on to, what we need to do better. Well, funny that you should say that about telling your story. That is a major kind of issue for Creative Stirling. I used to everyone who knows what we do sort of is frustrated about how we don't communicate it well enough. And I just kind of, our team are at capacity doing great work, and I have worked in those big organisations that are great at making not very much look. And we're doing the do, we're walking the walk, and that takes up, but part of, that is a priority. We need, if MD out there has got time and would like to come and help us put together a marketing strategy for the organisation, get in touch.
Oh boy, you've done it now. You've done it now. I just want to say about the Speakeasy events, we started coming to those and I wasn't really quite sure what I was in for. And you mentioned there was a few that and again, I'm an older fella here. There were a few that I was a bit, I don't know about this, whatever. And then by the end of this segment, I was like, they're great. That happens to me. I come in a bit cranky, and then I'm like, it's a Friday night. And I'm always so glad that I came. Well, I think it was the first or the second one, Waverley played. Yeah. Waverley I believe, won Best Live Act for Scotland throughout the music industry. They are so good. And I walked in here, I had no idea they were playing. Yeah. So I'm like, wait a minute, I know Waverley, and they are great. And I think they're one of those bands that, in years from now, I'm going to be able to say, I saw them upstairs at the shop here. So they were so good. So that's what I'm talking about. Where these events, please come to these events because they help support the artists, but you will be entertained, and it is worth it to come out on a Friday night. Also, it's dead easy. Just come in, do your thing, have a laugh, listen to some good music, and then you're done at a decent hour. We're not going to keep you out all night.
Yes, affordable bar too.
Exactly. Thank you so much for that. So that's great. So that's what we've got coming up here in the new year. And I mentioned Waverley there, and we might play a little Waverley a little bit later on. As I'm kind of getting this show going, I'm asking people, I didn't tell you I was going to ask you this, so I'm putting you on the spot here as the official representative of Creative Stirling. This answer better be good. What was the first concert you went to?
This is great.
Okay.
I went to see Billy Bragg at the Barrowlands in 1986. Gets better.
Yeah.
The support act was Ted Hawkins.
Oh, wow.
And at the end of the gig, the Glasgow audience were bouncing up and down, going, Uncle Ted, Uncle Ted, Uncle Ted. It was, I've got goosebumps even just remembering that,
So out of those, what is there a song that you remember specifically from that night that you'd like to hear?
There Stands a Man, is that right? Ted Hawkins, aye. Any Ted Hawkins, really, bless him. But and Billy Bragg at that point introduced him as he was the ex-convict and all that, singing the boardwalk, amazing. And it was the way the Glaswegians just embraced him. He kind of, he kind of overshone Billy Bragg in some way, but Billy Bragg was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I know, he's always great.
So just wrapping up, thanks again for speaking with me here and getting us going here on the show. This is Stirling Talks and Stirling Community Radio. We love being a part of the creative community here. I am hoping to have some of the comedians and some of the speakeasy acts on more and more here on the show, because it's just a natural fit, because they're literally feet away from the studio here, so that would be good. One more time, though, if people want to find out more about Creative Stirling, about the shop here, what should they do?
Come to Stirling.
Yeah.
Walk up through the arcade from the trade station, turn right. We're just there at the top of King Street. Made in Stirling store. Browse around. We've got 2 permanent kind of galleries with different rolling exhibitions. Event space upstairs, also exhibition space. One of the other things that Made in Stirling is, and these are all funding dependent, but we've been working for a while on establishing a ceramic studio in the basement, and so that will be exciting if it happens. So that's a lot of work gone into that, a lot of consultation with local ceramicists, potters, and all the rest of it.
We'll have more links or more details up on our social media. If you could do me a favor and just say, "Hi, I'm Joe. Here's Ted Hawkins on Stirling Community Radio."
Hi, I'm Joe. It's Ted. This is on Stirling Community Radio.
We'll make a DJ of you yet. Here we go.